Hey everybody, it's your girl Robin and I am back. I am so excited to be here with my YouTube family. Thank you so much. Listen, I know it has been a minute. I have been so busy, as they say, booked and busy during this season. Probably during the past 20 months, I have planned over 12 virtual conferences, and most recently I planned my first live conference in almost 2 years. So listen, today's video in fact is going to share with you some of the things that I want to make sure that you remember as you begin planning live events. All right, so let's get started. Hey, so again, it's your girl Robin Ware, and I am so excited to have you hanging out with me on today. I'm a church consultant as well as a success coach. What does that mean? I work with churches and pastors, teaching them how to operate in excellence. Everything that they do, whether it's the production of their worship service, whether it's planning a conference, or doing marketing and media, I help them do all of that and take it to the next level. I also work with faith-based entrepreneurs, teaching them how they can monetize their gifts, their callings, so that they can do what the Word of God says, and that is create wealth. That the gifts, God gives us the ability to create wealth. And so I teach you how to do just that. But today's teaching specifically, I am going to give you 3 or 4 tips that I used as I was planning my first live event. Listen, we know that we have been, basically doing things virtually. Well, now that people are getting a little bit more comfortable, we're doing more live events. And so I had the pleasure of planning a live conference for 1,000 people for one of my clients just 2 weeks ago. And so these tips that I'm going to share with you today are going to help you as you begin the planning process for planning your live events, whether it be a worship experience, a conference, or maybe a girlfriend's retreat. Whatever it is, these tips will help you do just that. All right, so let's go ahead with number 1 is communicate your COVID protocols. I can't tell you how important this is. Here are a few things that you could communicate. That you're going to be doing temperature checks. Let them know. Are you doing this daily? Are you doing this, hourly? However you're doing it and where you're doing it. Communicate that process. For my event, we did temperature checks, and then we gave them wristbands that verified that they had had their temperature checked. Our wristbands made it so easy so that our safety personnel could quickly identify who had gotten their temperature check that day. Also let them know that you're going to have hand sanitizing stations, and even where those are located, whether they're near the restrooms, near registration, or the entrance to your event. If you're in a church, that they're near the entrance to your sanctuary, or if they are, in your vestibule, wherever they're going to be, make sure you communicate that. Also communicate if you're going to be providing pre-packaged disinfecting wipes. I want to make sure I said that right. It's so important. I travel a lot. I fly on planes a lot. For those of you that follow me, I'm always posting my picture on a plane. And I love that when I get on my flight, Delta Airlines, the first thing they do, well, after welcoming me, is they give me a little sanitizing packet. It's a disinfecting wipe. And so when I open it, I wipe down my seat, I wipe down the armrest, I wipe down the TV monitor. I do all of that because it just makes me feel safer. Well, you want to do that if that's something that you're going to offer. That it's a good thing to offer, but if you're going to offer it, then you want to communicate that to let them know that this is a part of our COVID safe and clean policy. And then also, if you're going to be serving food, let them know how that's going to happen. We're going to have all of our food pre-packaged, or we're going to have attendants with gloves on serving you. Or if you're going to do some sort of self-service or a buffet, that you are going to have sneeze guards up. Sneeze guards are those, plastic stands that you see at a lot of venues actually, but they primarily were used for buffets. So let your audience know how you're going to be protecting them as it relates to COVID. And then as well, let them know if you're going to be practicing social distancing and what your seating is going to look like. We're going to be spaced 3 feet apart or 6 feet apart, whatever it is. We're going to let families sit together, or we're going to let those that come from the same household sit together. Whatever your protocols are, make sure you share them. All right. Number 2 is communicate your hybrid plan. I know that not everyone is ready to come back live. So if you're going to do hybrid events, then share how that's going to work. Share what events you're going to stream. Are you going to stream everything, or are you only going to stream the evening services? You know, as a meeting planner, I understand that events cost. And so having people on site, you typically charge a registration fee. Well, for your hybrid audience, you may want to charge a registration fee as well, and let them know what they're going to have access to watch. All right. And then also, as it relates to your hybrid plan, make sure that you obtain the attendees' email as well as cell phone numbers so that you can quickly email updates or text updates. Hey, the live event is going a little bit long in the first session, so the event that we're going to stream is going to start 30 minutes later. You know, whatever you're going to do, it gives you a way to communicate that so that you don't have people sitting around wondering why you're not streaming your event at the designated time. Number 3 is to make sure, let me switch over. Number 3, make sure that the venue that you're using, that you discuss with them, are you guys going to be renovating? Now, for my event, I asked the hotel, are you going to be shutting down any rooms, any wings? What is your market schedule? Meaning, will your restaurants be open? How's room service going to work? You do not want people to take the time to put all this trust in you that you're going to have an amazing and safe event, and then they get there and they're not able to take advantage of the services they need to be comfortable. You know, room service, restaurants, maybe there's a golf course on the premises. You want to make sure that those areas are going to be open, or if they've got reduced schedules, that you're going to be able to communicate that to your attendees so that they are not disappointed when they arrive. All right. And then number 4, and this is the biggie, you need to make sure that your contract has clauses to protect you in the case of another pandemic. If something happens and you're not able to host your event. I saw some things online, you know, even though I was booked and busy, I was keeping up with what was going on in pop culture. And I know that a popular R&B artist was kind of going through some things because they had contracted COVID and they weren't able to honor their commitments. Well, as long as you have some sort of contract stipulation, force majeure, it is a French word that simply means greater force. If something greater, a greater force happens, an act of God that prohibits me from performing, then I'm held, not responsible. You're not going to be able to sue me. As it relates to hotels, you want to make sure you have that, and that you have the exact details as to what it's going to cover. Like, for instance, is it an act of God? Does that include a pandemic? Anything that's in the unforeseeable future. Maybe you've got a leader that's really, really sick. And if something happens and, God forbid, but that leader transitions, are you still going to be able to host your event? And if you are you going to be held accountable to achieve the minimums that were in the contract based on you having your full attendance? You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you have a stipulation that says, hey, we can still come, but you're not going to hold us responsible for the minimums as if we had our full attendance. So, speaking of force majeure, I'm going to do a separate video that teaches you about force majeure and impossibility clauses so that your church, your organization, you end up in the black and not the red as it relates to hosting your events. I've worked with churches before that have gotten in really bad places with hotel venues in particular, and even some artists, because they didn't read the contract and they didn't understand the contract, or they didn't make sure that there was an impossibility clause. So be on the lookout for that video coming up very, very soon. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me on today. For those of you that are not subscribers to my channel, listen, content like this, I've got more and more coming. So I want you to make sure you subscribe to my channel as well as hit that bell so that you are alerted anytime your girl goes live. All right? I don't want you to miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It is your girl, Robin Ware. Again, I am a church consultant. Oh, let me share this with you. I would love, love, love to connect with you. You can go to my website, thewareagency.com. Got some free trainings on there that you want to take advantage of, as well as you can book a one-on-one consultation with me so that you can share with me maybe what's going on with your church or your organization or even your own business if you're a small business owner that maybe I can help you with. As I said, I'm a coach, and so I can definitely help you if you're interested in building your platform or growing or even scaling your business. All right. God bless you. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will be back with more videos, so make sure that you stay tuned to those alerts so that you don't miss anything. God bless you. Bye-bye.